Why is voting important? Voting is one of our rights. Our founding fathers instituted the right for citizens to vote. They were trying to find a new order of things, democracy. And although there are some people that may say there are some losses in voting, there are many more benefits. The benefits definitely outweigh the losses or the cons of voting. Voting can also be perceived as a God-given right because God has given us free will. We are able to exercise that free will by praying about who we want in leadership for our country and who we want to be our ruler, if you will. Voting also helps us to sort of have a hand in correcting where those lawmakers may be going astray from what we believe is moral. And if we don't vote, we have less of a chance of steering that person to doing something moral. Our right to vote is in the Constitution. It is in Section 2, and it says, "The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of several states, and the electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch in the state legislature." We can make a difference when we vote. Sometimes the law gets passed, a bill gets passed by a landslide because a certain age group didn't vote. And unfortunately, that is the base for the actual age group that didn't vote. That's their future. If they didn't agree with it, but they didn't vote for it, then they made a bad choice in not voting for what they wanted to see in the future. Voting helps us to choose wisely, to be informed. If we're not choosing to vote, we're ignoring what is happening in our state and in our country that we live in. And we have less likelihood of having any freedoms, any rights, because we are not exercising those freedoms to vote into office or vote into law what we want to see change or stay the same. There is definitely strength in numbers. The more people vote, the more people vote towards one way. So with a Christian perspective, the more Christians vote, the more we see that moral change happening. I read an article by Mary, page 3, published in 2016. It said, "Citizens in a healthy democracy have a pro tanto moral duty to fulfill their role exceedingly. Number 2, excellent citizenship requires that one avoid disrespecting democracy. Number 3, in the right circumstances, failing to vote disrespects democracy. Therefore, number 4, in the right circumstances, citizens in a healthy democracy have a pro tanto moral duty to vote." If you want to see change in your home, you have to be the change. If you want to see change in your city, in your state, in your country, you have to be the change. And part of that helps. Part of that is voting. When you are voting, get informed. Don't just vote blindly because a name sounds cute or sensible. Make sure you are doing your research, and from a Christian perspective, make sure that they are God-fearing people. And if they're not God-fearing, neither of the candidates or people in line to get elected are Christians, then just make your best judgment according to God's word. And finally, voting is a privilege and a right, and you have a voice to make a difference. So be the difference and get to voting.